What's going on? Top of the morning, top of the morning. Give me a second. No, I ain't got it together, but hold on one second. All right, so this whole debacle involving the NFL, it's really making them look bad. And when it's all said and done, when all the smoke is clear, there's going to be people coming out saying, well, I wasn't a part of this. I wasn't part of this collusion. Because I was listening to Uncle Neely, and he was passionately talking last night. And, because he really rocked with Shadour, he's really close to him. They work together. You know, um, he runs the show, the pregame show. And I was listening to him. This is Muhammad report. Wait a minute. This chores. I was listening to him, and there's like they saying that there was some collusion going on. He said there was some collusion going on, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so yeah, I'm just looking at it right here. So President Trump, he said this: "What is wrong with the NFL owners? Are they stupid? Deion Sanders was a great college football player and was even greater in the NFL. He's also a very good coach, streetwise and smart. Therefore, Shedeur, his quarterback son, has phenomenal genes and is set for greatness. He should be picked immediately by a team that wants to win." He said, "Good luck, Shedeur, and say hello to your wonderful father." This is from the President of the United States. And here's what, Robert Griffin, I'll play that later, but that came from the President of the United States, who is actually watching, actually. Let's see. But something happened yesterday that I was watching, different videos and stuff like that, and I came across this video with Shadour. Someone called his phone. He thought he was getting ready to get drafted because you know how they call your phone and stuff like that. Well, he said that he just purchased this phone and it's not in his name. He just purchased the phone and it's not in his name, and he gave the phone number to all the teams so that if they need to call him before they draft him, they could just call that number. Well, what happened was someone called him and acting like he was getting ready to get drafted, and then they said you have to wait a little longer, and then hung up on him. And then he was like, "What does that mean?" And then Shiloh was like, "I don't know. You were listening to him. You tell us," because they didn't hear it, but he heard it. But if you look at the video, that's what he said. That's what the person on the other end of the phone said. You have to wait a little longer. So what happened was that was a prank call. So if that was a prank call and he only gave his number out to the teams, which one of them did that? I could see if it was an old phone number and his phone number got leaked and somebody playing a prank on him, but that's a little fishy there. So I did get a chance to search through the internet. Patrick Mahomes did say he did weigh in on it. He said he pretty much saying it's not right. And a lot of the old NFL players said they have never witnessed this before. They have never witnessed anything like this before from a first round talent. He actually has first round talent. This is not up for debate. I know. And then one guy came out and said, "Well, let me explain what's going on." He's a sports analyst. He said pretty much what's going on is all of the NFL teams collectively have said that he's not worth drafting in the first round, second round, and third round. That's all it is. He's not worth, like I said, he's not worth the first round, second round, and third round. Well, that's not true. Everybody that knows the game of football, they know that's not true. That's not true. Your eyes do, the numbers don't lie, and what I see on the field doesn't lie. Like I said, I have been watching football since I was little. Okay, I've been watching football really since when Phil Simms was with the Giants, because I was a kid then. So from when Phil Simms was with the Giants all the way till now, I have been watching football. I mean, there's been a while. I mean, here recently, I haven't been watching the NFL, but all of the great quarterbacks have already played the game. There's nothing going to be new to revolutionize this game in the quarterback position. I mean, there's always somebody that come along that do some great things, but guess what? It's already been done already. Everything has been done already. Um, Somebody had, yeah, so it's already been done already. Everything. We even had an old quarterback drafted. I know they were talking about this one quarterback that was drafted before Shedeur. They're saying usually, like older quarterbacks, it don't work out. Well, that's not true. I mean, there's older quarterbacks back in the day. Chris Winkie was drafted when he was older, and he played a little while. So everything's been done already from the quarterback position. Uh, I can't think of like a super mobile quarterback. I mean, we've seen the Randall Cunninghams. This is all in, like within my lifetime that I can remember. We've seen the Michael Vicks. Um, we've seen the Tom Brady's, of course. We've seen it all. Even if you go back in the archives, we've seen everything. Everything's been done, so we know what a good quarterback looks like. Everybody knows this. This is not when things like this happen, they try to play on your your mind. Like you're not seeing what you're seeing. No, I'm seeing what I'm seeing. So I'm seeing what I'm seeing. This is not about he don't have the talent to play in the NFL. I can see, okay, fine. You don't want to draft him in the first round, the second round. Okay. I can tell you right now, and I don't like to put down other people to big up somebody else. But what I'm going to tell you is of the quarterbacks that was drafted before him, and I mean all of them. I mean all of them. He's number one, if not number two. I'm gonna have to exclude Cam Ward out because him and Cam Ward are good friends. And also Cam Ward was also with Select QB. So we have to keep Select QBs at the forefront because he is the only quarterback coach that did what he did this year. He's the only one. He's the only quarterback coach that got a number one draft pick. He's the only one. So we're excluding Cam Ward. Other than Cam Ward, he's the best quarterback on the board. And here's what's interesting. They're saying he's not good enough, right? But all of the experts, after Travis Hunter and Cam Ward, Shadour was the best available for the entire draft. I have never seen that before. And a lot of the old football players that has been in the Hall of Fame, has played this game, nobody has ever witnessed this. They sent a clear message yesterday. And Chad Johnson was right. You're not bigger than the program. They sent a clear message yesterday. I don't care what they say. They're going to, because eventually, because I believe his name is going to get called today. I really do. But they're gonna try to save face and be like, listen, we weren't a part of this and stuff like that. We weren't a part of this. If I was him, I would do some investigation on who actually made that phone call to him and figure out what happened there. But I know Uncle Neely said that he believed that there's some collusion going on. But here's the thing, though. It's going to be very hard to prove that if there was some collusion going on between the NFL owners. However, I do think that's what happened. Will it be hard to prove? Yes, unless somebody come out and whistleblow. This is a black eye on the NFL. I really, to be honest with you, I know Travis got drafted. Cam got drafted. I would like to see them play in the NFL and stuff like that. I don't think I'll be watching it, to be honest with you. I really don't. I haven't watched the NFL really anyway. You know what I'm saying? I just don't, just the whole process of it. I just really, at this point, it gave such a black eye that they should be embarrassed, but they're not embarrassed because they can continue in this world to get away with whatever they want to get away with because us as a people, we're not united. So they could continue to get away with it because if they would, whatever. Um, I could see if it was his ability. I could see if he didn't have first round ability or second round ability. I could see that. And also I could see if the teams in their first round, they really wanted to go after some other positions because they already have a quarterback and some that's on the fringe that, they do need a quarterback, but they had an opportunity to get a player that's dominant in one position. I could see that. But this wasn't the case here. There was a quarterback that was drafted before him that's obviously not better than him. So it's not. It's a political game too. Just to let you know, these sports are political. You have to play politics. You know what someone said? This was a brother that said this. He said that Shedeur mistake was that he didn't code switch. He didn't code switch. If anybody don't know what that is, meaning that he didn't change his voice up. He didn't change his style up. He remained himself, and he didn't code switch. Um, Meaning that he just didn't play the political game during the interview process. Well, we don't know that because none of us saw the interview process, so I can't say that. And he shouldn't have to code switch. He should be himself, and being himself is good enough because he's not a bad kid. I could see if he was a bad kid. Okay, yeah, you gotta you gotta clean it up a little bit, Shadour. You know what I'm saying? No, he don't have to clean up. He's not a bad kid. This was a situation where they sent a message to that family. They sent a message to the family. That's what they did. I honestly believe that, but can I prove it? No. Um, this put a black eye on the NFL. Even if the president is saying something, that really put a black eye on it. And what sealed the deal is when Patrick Mahomes gave his comment. That sealed the deal. You mean to tell me one of the best quarterbacks after Tom Brady was a changing of the guard? We know it was Patrick Mahomes. If he weighed in on the situation, yes, something is wrong. Now, am I saying it's all the owners? No, because obviously Dallas, they're not in position to draft him. They weren't. Dallas wasn't in position to draft him in the first and second round. They already signed Dak Prescott to all this money. The Giants weren't in. The Giants, on the other hand, they could have, because I was gonna say I was gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because, well, you could make an argument if they wanted to draft Jackson Dart for him. Okay, that's an exception because Jackson Dart is actually pretty good. So if you want to debate on who's the better quarterback, that's a debate that I can entertain, which I would just say we can agree to disagree. So I understand that. So I can exclude the Giants. Dallas, like I said, I will exclude Dallas because they signed Dak Prescott to all this money. We have to exclude Atlanta. They already drafted Michael Penix, and they also have Kirk Cousins with just all this money. So some of this contract stuff is guaranteed, and also with Michael Penix, being that he got drafted so high the previous year, that signing bonus is everything. So that's guaranteed. They got money to pay out. We have to exclude Atlanta. Um, but for some of the other teams that need a quarterback, okay, in the first round, I can't argue too much in the first round, even though he's a first round quarterback. They can argue and say, well, we need to go after this position. We need to go after this position because some teams they have a lot of needs. But for him to slip all the way to Saturday, it's a clear message that they sent, and it's a black eye on the game. It really is. It really is. It really is. I feel bad for the kid because, and you know the crazy thing is, if they thought that he had a character flaw, he proved them wrong. He proved them wrong. So everything do happen for some. I don't believe in everything happened for a reason. To be honest with you, I don't. I don't believe in everything happened for a reason. I don't. Because when people come out here and get assaulted and stuff like that, that was for a reason? No, that wasn't for a reason. That's because somebody out here being a predator. So there's a reason for that. Somebody was being a predator. That's the reason. So everything don't happen for a reason. This world is just not fair. We know this, especially when it comes to us. It's not fair. Why do we have to code switch and other people don't have to code switch? If that's the case. Um, so that yeah, he'll get his opportunity. I'm sure he'll get his name called today. But he lost about 20 to 30 million dollars for no reason. For no reason. This is a business, also his business. But let me go back to the character for a minute because people are talking about his character. He dispelled all those rumors yesterday. When he got that phone call, he still held his head high, and he said, "I'm not going to read it." He said they want a reaction from me, and I'm not giving it to him. That's a man. He's not a kid. That's a man right there. That's standing on principle. Okay, I would love to have him in my organization. I would love to have him. He was raised right. His parents did a good job with him, man. His parents did. They did a good job with him because he could have easily just straight up crashed out yesterday, but he didn't. He maintained his character, and he said eventually wherever he goes, that's where God want him to go. So what do you mean he has a character flaw? Where's the character flaw at? Because if he had a character flaw, it would have came out yesterday. Oh yes, it would have came out yesterday. It would have came out yesterday. But even he said it. They want a reaction for me. They're not going to get it. I'm just going to maintain, and whenever I get my opportunity, I get my opportunity, and I'm going to be grateful for that. Because when he did get the call, you should have saw how his face lit up, man. What they did was wrong. What they did was wrong at this point. I don't really care about the NFL. I'm not probably not going to be watching it, but I'm going to give my 2 cents now. It's a political thing. As long as you be a certain way, they want you a certain way, then, it shouldn't be that way because it's not that way with a few other people. It's not. It's not that way. They still gave these people a chance. He don't have a character flaw, man. I don't even know him, and I could tell if he had a character flaw, it was going to come out yesterday. It definitely would have came out. It didn't come out. He just patiently waited. He was just waiting. Some people say, well, he's too braggadocio. Um, he flaunts and stuff like that. He is not the only player that wear jewelry. I promise you that. He's not the only player, and he won't be the last. That's not it. That's not it. So, if they're saying he have a character flaw, for the person that said that he was a part of the worst interview ever, why don't that person come forward and tell us who his name is? That person have a character flaw. You want to hide and be anonymous. Because when you come to the forefront, now you're gonna be subjected to questions now. What exactly happened in his interview that you didn't like? What exactly happened? Because you don't want it because he's too overly confident. You need a quarterback like that. Does he have an edge? You need a quarterback like that. Okay, so what's the problem? Tom Brady had that about him. He had that edge on his shoulder about him, which could low be kind of be arrogant a little bit. He had it. That's what made him great. Patrick Mahomes have it. You gotta have it. You gotta think you the shit to survive in that game. You got 300-pound linemen coming at you, and you still gotta move the chains, and you gotta direct traffic and move the trains. You gotta be a certain type of individual. Everybody not built like that. So I think collectively, since the players collectively will have to come together and say we're not going to let these people buffalo us around, and we actually have power. It's been exercised before by the players. It was now this was really exercised by the players when I was a kid. I never forget it. When I was a kid, they had a lockout, and the lockout was so long, they had to bring replacement players in. Anybody remember that? They had to bring replacement players in for a little bit part of the season, and they were not budging until they got what they wanted. They were not budging, and it was so bad that the whole season was lost, and then they had to come in and bring replacement players, and they had to bring replacement players. I remember the New York Giants, Dave Meggett, he was one of those replacement players, and he was so good that when the regular NFL people came back, he kept his job. Bill Parcells kept him on because he said, "I can't deny him, man. He's actually really good. We can use him." That happened years ago. That was in the '80s. That was I was a kid, man, but I remember it. And then it happened again when they threatened a lockout. They had a lockout. Like but this situation, I don't know if it's going to call for it. It's just that I believe that there was collusion. We sent a message, you're not bigger than the program, and we got you. We'll give you a chance. We're going to call your name, but we ain't going to call you in the first round. Yeah, we took the money away from you. They took the money away. And when I say they took the money away, because when you drafted at a certain level, that signing bonus, which is guaranteed, is very high. Very high. Will he eventually? This is going to be the first player that damn near not get drafted. Well, no, he's not the first player because there's a lot of people that went undrafted. And let me see. What's the guy from the Greatest Show on Turf? Kurt Warner. Remember the team when he had that run with the Rams, they were called the Greatest Show on Turf. He went undrafted. So just because you could go undrafted and go on for greatness, that he gonna be just like that. If he go undrafted, he'll come in and go on for greatness because he should have been in the first round. He will actually listen. He has the ability right now to go to Jacksonville and take that man's spot. Why do I say that? Because if he start the season and for the first 4 games, if he's playing horrible and Shedeur's number 2, the fans are going to be calling for him to go in. If he goes in, he's staying. If he goes in, but they can't do that in Jacksonville. That's not the likely situation because they signed him for all this money. They have a lot of money here on the line with him. They invested a lot of money in this guy. And it's okay. You can have a bad season. It's fine. It's a lot of factors that go into it. He got an injury. He caught that concussion. So there's a lot of factors in why maybe he had a slow season. He didn't have the season that contract calls for. So it's a lot of factors in it. So you could invest in him for a few seasons, even if he having a bad season. Because you're really drafting him on, you really gave him a contract on potential because he has a huge upside. I'm talking about Trevor Lawrence. However, You know, he can't keep taking too many of them hits like that. I know he wasn't supposed to take that hit because that guy wasn't supposed to hit him like that because he was already committed to the slide. So he shouldn't have done that. But anyway, it was dangerous when because the way his hands were moving. That was a high grade concussion. He can't keep taking too many of those. Just like the guy in Miami, Tua. He can't take no, he can't afford to have any more, man. So he could easily replace some of these people just off the skill alone. And it's not his skill. It really isn't. I know some people say, well, is he really good, Max? Is he like, because they haven't been following? I say, yeah, he is. And if he's in the NFL, being that the game is a little bit slower, oh, he'll kill it. Especially if he got some offensive linemen that, yeah, he'll kill it for sure. But they're playing mind games on him now because this could make or break him now, folks. But luckily he got the best in his corner. This could make or break his psyche. Like, damn, I must not be good enough. No, sir, you're good enough. They just tripping. They just on their plant. They have a plantation mentality. That's what it is, sir. So it's not your fault. They got a plantation mentality. It's not your fault. But that's what it is. And I hate to even go that deep, but it's just what it is. I'm all about fairness. It's not fair in this world. Nothing is fair. Nothing is fair in life. The playing field was never fair. It was never level. And that's just what it is. You don't hold people in bondage. I'm just going back in history for a minute. You don't hold people in bondage if they weren't great people. You don't do that. Because if they didn't matter, you wouldn't have to hold them in bondage. But some of the motherfuckers was lazy. That's why they held them in bondage. They didn't want to work like that. So they had to get free labor. Because their ass is fucking lazy. And they're not capable. That's why. Some of their people were held in bondage too. Let me just be fair. They were. They were. All demographics had a little bondage. They did. But what does that say about the people that put you in bondage? They're weak. And this is just plantation mentality, man. That's why I don't rock with the NFL, man. I really don't. I really don't. It couldn't be me, man. I swear to you. If I already made a lot of money, I'm like, fuck y'all, man. I'm just going in the business world. I don't need this football, man. I'm gonna go flip my money, go into business. I don't need this money. But he's worked so hard to get to this point. He's worked so hard. So he should be given the opportunity. He worked so hard. And the NFL has a monopoly on football. It's not like the real football, which is the real football is the world sport. They have different leagues that matter. They have the Spanish La Liga, okay? They have a Mexican league. They got a Brazilian league. They got an Italian Series A league, okay? They have a France league. They have different leagues that matter. The NFL's not like that. They only have one league that has the monopoly on everything because the XFL tried it. They failed. Trump failed. He failed. Y'all didn't know that, did you? Oh, yes. He failed. That's probably why he said something. He don't like the NFL. I'm sure he's still holding on since what happened to him in the 80s. Okay? Because he tried to start a league and it failed because they have such a monopoly. Maybe it should have been different leagues and then you join together to have a championship, like how soccer does. And then they come together and have a World Cup. That's why they're the world's that football matters. This football only matters in the United States. Yeah, there's other people around the world that's interested, but it's not as big as soccer. It's not. And I like soccer because they got different leagues you can go to and still get paid. You get paid in Spain. You get paid in Italy. You get paid in France. You can get paid in Brazil. You can get paid in Mexico. There's different leagues you can go to, and then within the leagues, they got the premiership. Oh yes, they got the premiership in England. I forgot. They got the premiership. So they got different leagues, man. And I promise you they're handsomely paid. I promise you this. They getting paid more than some of they've been getting paid over there. Been. So it's just that the NFL is a monopoly. There's no other league to compare. You see that they tried other leagues with the NBA. There's no other league that compares. No other league. And then you got these owners. They have a lot of power. They could treat you how they want to treat you. See, they could get away with this. But I don't have to watch. I don't have to give them my viewership. I'm not buying any jerseys. I'm not buying any merch. I'm not buying any tickets unless I scalp them. If I scalp them, yeah, but I'm not buying any tickets or anything like that. I'm not going to no games. None. I'm not supporting the NFL. I like college better. Anyway, fuck the Jets. Fuck them. Okay? Because if I really put it in perspective, I could never enjoy the game. Sometimes I have to close my eyes to just enjoy the game. You go along and get along. But if I really just keep it real with myself, I don't enjoy the game. I really don't. The owners make all the money. But anyway, he'll get called today. But matter of fact, here's the thing. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get called today. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised they have him go as an undrafted free agent just to prove a point. Undrafted free agent. And they'll make him just, prove himself that way. He has to imagine this. Imagine having to prove yourself to a bunch of Poindexters. They got money. I don't give a fuck if they got money. They still Poindexters. Which of whom some of the most dangerous people on the planet. These billionaires. They're some of the most dangerous people on the planet, actually. You don't get all that money without having a certain mindset. But I don't want to get into that. But they still Poindexters to me. For allowing this, yeah, they Poindexters, man. And they've done it in the past. This is not the first time. I remember Doug Williams won a Super Bowl for Washington and cut him after that. Just cut him. Oh, he's not cutting the mustard. Oh, how did he win a Super Bowl for you then if he ain't cutting the mustard? They ain't win no more after that. Fuck them. They ain't win no more. I never went to a. I never would never go to a game, Washington game, after what they did to him. See, I remember back then. I remember that. I have a really good memory because back then they was like, it was a whole big thing back then with the black quarterback. Are they smart enough? Do they have the mental? I know they didn't say it like that. Do they have the mental aptitude to be an NFL quarterback? Do they have the what the fuck you mean? Do we got the mental aptitude? It was because of us that they got the fucking Russian language. It's because of us that the modern Russian language is the way it is. It's because of us. Alexander Pushkin. It's because of us that a lot of things were invented. What the fuck you mean? We can't play that little silly ass football. What do you mean? We don't have the mental aptitude. For shout out to the black quarterbacks of the past that paved the way for the quarterbacks now. Shout out to them because they went through a lot. They had to be greater than great for that position. They had to be greater than great. Shout out to the Warren Moons. Shout out to the Randall Cunninghams. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of them, man. Do they have the mental aptitude and this and that to be this and that? And then they kill me with college sports, with these black coaches. They kill me. And I remember they said, well, can he be a coach in a Power Five? What the fuck you mean? He played the game at the highest level. You don't think he know the X's and O's? Of course he does. See, if I start talking, I'm just gonna ruin this. I'm just gonna ruin the conversation of sports. So I promise you, after this, I'm just gonna go along and get along. Because if I start really breaking this down, I really don't even want to watch it no more. But because of course I'll peep in because Travis and Cam Ward and Shedeur eventually when they get out there at their head out their ass, they'll eventually call his name. If maybe not, they might not. Since Trump said something too, oh, they might not. They might not. They might prove a point. Oh, Trump, he calling us stupid, huh? Okay, yeah, we ain't gonna draft him. So he might not get drafted today. So, if he do get his opportunity, I know he's gonna kill it. So I'm gonna peep in because he's playing because I'm gonna support them. But I don't support the owners. Man, shout out to Bill Russell, man. May Bill Russell rest in peace. He was a real one. He won so many, he got so many rings. Everybody talking about Michael Jordan and Steph Curry. This man got so many rings, he couldn't even put them on all his hands. He got so many rings. But you know what he said? He didn't win those championships for the city of Boston because they were racist and all that shit. He didn't win it for them. He did it for himself and his and for the platform. So he can have a platform to talk about other things. But he didn't win all those championships for Boston. He could care less about Boston because he knew they didn't care less about him as a human being. Yeah, he was they like it when we entertain them. Fuck them. Fuck them. What you mean entertain? I'm not here to entertain. I'm not. The Lord gave me a mouth. That's why my voice so goddamn deep because I sit up here and bump my gums and let them know about themselves. So that's why I'm not gonna ever get nowhere because I got a mouth on me. I'm never gonna get nowhere because I'm not gonna let them buffalo me around. That's why I'm not sitting up there working in their businesses. I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm not doing that, and I just ain't studying them. That I'm sorry, the Lord just gave me this voice, and I can't shut up, and I'm gonna let them know about themselves. But shout out to Bill Russell. That was a man of respect. I didn't win these championships for Boston. We did it for ourselves. We didn't do it for them people in the stands because we know we couldn't sit at their dinner table because their ass is racist. That's why. Half of them didn't like us anyway. They just like when we entertain and stuff like that. But yeah, he said that. Go look. He didn't win them championships for Boston. They did it for themselves. Oh, great, we won a Super Bowl and listen, I hope these college kids, I hope there's never a salary cap on college football. Hey, Coach Prime, after what happened today, don't call for no more salary caps. Let these kids get their money so they can say fuck the NFL. Let them get their money now because they can flip that money and invest their money, maybe get some property so they won't have to play in the NFL. So let them get the money now. Let them get it now. Let them get it now. So they won't have to, so they won't have to play. They just get in the business world. But then you know what eventually was going to happen, right? When a lot of them start not even interested in NFL, they're going to put a salary cap on it because they need some people that thank the Lord that they're in the NFL. They need people like that. I thank the Lord that I'm in the NFL. They need that. So they always going to have people that want to get to the NFL. But then they're going to have some people that, you know what, if I can get $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 after taxes, okay, so after taxes and all my expenses are paid, okay, this is what I have left over. So let me put 3/4 in an account and invest in some companies. Okay, so I won't have to touch that money. Now, the other portion of the money, let me buy a little bit of real estate and sit on it. And then for the other portion of money, let me do something else. So that way, they don't even have to play in the NFL. They can just get in business. We did that before. We always talk about Tulsa. Tulsa wasn't the only Black Wall Street. I'm sitting in one right now. I'm sitting in one. We had them, so we might as well just do that. Like just get all the money you can now in the NCAA, and then just say that and just like Caleb Williams, he tried to what I heard was he's a smart kid. He tried to say, you know what? Let me form an LLC. Let me form a company, and you guys pay my company instead of paying me the salary. Just pay my company, pay my entertainment company. NFL said no. They said no. They don't want it like that because he would have all different types of advantages if he did that. They said no. And then also he wanted some ownership of the team, I heard. They said no. So you know what he should have did? All right, well, let me get with all the other draftees and say we're not playing this year. Fuck you then. But we're not there yet to have that type of unity. We're not there yet. They very rarely give players ownership. Tom Brady has ownership, but he only has a minority stake. I think 5%, or he's sharing 5% with somebody else, or something like that. He's a very little ownership in the Raiders. He has a minority stake. They're not going to expand football to give other people ownership. They're just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it, man. So yes, for the college players now, look what happened to Shedeur. You got a code switch. Now just remember, you got a code switch. Okay, you got a code switch. Keep your cheeks together to satisfy these Poindexters. So, okay, you don't want to do that? Okay, get all the money you can out of college, and then do something else. That's what I would do. That's what I'd be doing. I'm like, hell, I know I'm not gonna make the NFL. All right, so I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get all the money I can, just like that kid from Michigan. I think he went to Michigan and quarterback. He getting all that money, so he say if he invested right, he could set himself up where he ain't got to sit up there and risk getting CTE in the NFL. He ain't got to risk it. Fuck it. I'm not risking it. I'm just going to get in the business world. There's been several football players that have been very successful in business, so it could be done. Um, there's been a lot of former NBA players that were successful in business. Magic Johnson is one of them. So everything has been done already. So the blueprint is already there. Um, yeah, I'm just saying all this. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I will tune in to when Travis play. Okay, I'll tune in to see what Cam is doing, and I will tune in because eventually I guess Shadour is going to get called. I guess he is today. I guess, or maybe he'll go undrafted free agent. I don't know, but because he gonna kill it wherever he goes, so I'll tune in. I'll tune in, but I ain't going to no games. I wish I would sit in these Poindexter Stadium. I wish I would. Not no more. Not no more. Not no more. I've had enough. I've had enough. Look, just when I getting back in the NFL, something stinks again. Now I don't want to look at the NFL no more. Because prior to Shadour and them and Travis, I wasn't watching the NFL. I wasn't watching it. I wasn't watching it. I have not seen one live Dallas game. Not one. Not one. I haven't. Let me tell you something. I haven't been to a Jets game since they built the new stadium. Yeah, the last time I went, it was at Giant Stadium, the old Giant Stadium in the Meadowlands in East Rutherford, which I only live 20 minutes away. I live right there, where my mother is. I haven't been to a Jets game since that Giant Stadium, man. Let me tell you how much of how they play tricks on us. It's called the New York Jets and the New York Giants, but they play in New Jersey, if that makes sense. The Statue of Liberty is in fucking New Jersey. It's in Jersey City. You know what I mean? But New York claims it. It's just a whole bunch of stuff, man. I know I know what I sound like. I sound like a bitter ass old man. I know I sound like one. Okay? But I wish I would sit in one of these Poindexter Stadium. I wish I would. Oh, I'm rooting for the Jets. Fuck it. Fuck the Jets. I always say the Jets, the Jets. I don't really support them. I don't really support them because I have not seen Sauce Gardner play live yet. I have not. I have not. I have not. I've seen Darrell Reeves. I have. So I'm really not a Jets fan, to be honest with you. Think about how am I such a fan when I don't even go to the games. I don't even go to the games. Um. So yeah, and now here's the thing. I want to say this, so I have to keep it real. There's still some other players that didn't get drafted either. That's really good, but there was only a certain amount of quarterbacks in the draft that was like really kind of draftable. He was at the top though. He was at the top. I could see if he was like one of many quarterbacks. I could see that. Then I can't sit up here and hate. I'm like, dude, it's hard to get drafted. It's hard because it's thousands of players that entered in the draft. Everybody ain't gonna get drafted. But he was in the top 10 in the running for the Heisman Trophy. He was in the top 10. He had the highest completion rating than any quarterback in the draft, even the one that got number one. He had the highest completion percentage. So he's not normal. He's not normal. He's not a normal person. So that's why I'm tripping. Because I don't like that these Poindexters got so much power. I don't. I never liked it. Never did. So that's why I just have to go along and get along. I have to go along and get along. But I wish I would go to that funky ass stadium. That's I was gonna go see Travis play. I'm not going. I'm not going to sit up in that funky ass stadium. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it, man. And you got to go through life. You got to enjoy some things, right? But I enjoy the little things out of life. I'm just let you know I'm not some angry old man. Excuse me, young man. I'm not some angry man that can't enjoy life. No, I'm not like that. But I'm not sitting up in their funky stadiums. I'm not doing it. I probably in another lifetime ago, I probably was like that in the Roman Empire. I'm not sitting in your funky ass Colosseum. I'm not sitting in there. I probably was like that back then. I'm not sitting up in there in your funky ass Coliseum. I'm not doing it. The reason why I referenced that because football players are our modern day gladiators. That's why I said that. So nothing's new under the sun. It's a form of entertainment. They're gladiators, just like boxers. So yeah, I'm not sitting up in your funky Coliseum. I'm not sitting up in there. And shout out to the Pope. What's going on with the Pope? They having a little ceremony for the Pope today. I got to see that because that's all ritualistic. It kind of creep. That whole ritual kind of creeped me out. They wear them. You see them with the damn capes on. Did you see them with the mask on their face? I never seen that in the last one. Maybe I missed it. They had these looking like the Klan and shit. I'm like, I ain't never see that. Maybe I missed it when Pope John Paul died. I missed it when the other Pope died. I never seen nothing like that. I'm like, what part of the game is this? That sound creepy. I don't even want to watch it. Fuck around, and give me a nightmare watching that. No, I'm good on that Pope stuff. But anyway, I'm sorry to turn this game into a grumpy session because that's what I turned it into. And when I created this sports channel, I'm like, yeah, at least I could talk sports. So at least I could talk college football because I like college football better because I like that the players that have a name are getting paid. But I hope they never put a cap on it because I want them to get all the money so they won't have to sit up here and code switch just to get a position. Are you marketable? We need to know, is he marketable? Can we win with him? What you mean, can you win with him? He sat up there, was running for his life for the past 2 years at Colorado and threw for all them damn yards. Okay? I bet you they didn't like the fact, let me tell y'all something else. They didn't like the fact that he got his jersey retired. They didn't. They were okay with Travis. They didn't like that he got his jersey retired. I'm telling y'all this. They sitting up here sending a clear message to his father. That's what this is about. They getting at his father. Shadour is catching stray bullets because of it. They're getting at his father. His father, no, that's why he said it. He said, put me on the cross. Save my kids, man. That's what he's saying. Y'all come after me. That's what he said yesterday. Y'all come after me, man. Not my kids, man. He know what's going on. You mean to tell me he's that powerful of a figure for them to try to do all this? That's a bad man. He's been like that since he got drafted. He didn't need them folks to tell him he was great. That's what he said. He said, maybe if I had let them say I was great, then I wouldn't be in all this. But he ain't wait for them. He said, yeah, I'm great. Because he had to market himself, because back in the day, he had said that in the defensive back position, they weren't the highest paid. So he had to do something to market himself. That's why he came up with Prime Time. Well, one of his friends nicknamed him Prime. The guy that had them YouTube videos that talk finance. He called him Prime. And actually, that guy played for the Bears. He played for the Bears. The one that nicknamed him Prime Time. Yep, he played for the Chicago Bears, I remember. And he nicknamed him Prime, so he came up with this thing, Prime. You know, I'm Prime Time. And he lived up to the billing. I ain't gonna lie to you, he did. He's like Ali. When you know how they talk, but they could back it up, that's how he was. I never seen somebody in the fourth quarter where everybody's tired and sit up there and run back a punt like he's fresh in the first quarter. I never seen that like that. The other time I seen it was with Devin Hester and Ted Ginn Jr. That's the only two I've seen. Prime, Devin Hester, and Ted Ginn Jr. They're the only ones I know that can run back a punt like they do, fresh as hell in the fourth quarter. Never seen it. It's crazy. That's God-given ability. Just don't get tired. And Travis is like that too, but he just can't run. He don't run back punts like Prime though. But yeah, they're gonna try to limit Travis to, we don't want you to play too much like that. You know, I bet you'll sell them seats out if he do. You're gonna have to give him some snaps on offense. He gonna sell Jacksonville out. You know what I'm saying? But hey, you know, I ain't sitting up in the stadium though. I'm just one of, my money don't matter. Because collectively, not all the same. My money don't matter, so they cool. They ain't gonna miss me being up at that stadium. But let me stop sounding like a bitter old man. But I'm just real though. I just know how this society is set up, and I'm not afraid to talk about it. So that's just what it is. But in a few hours, his name will get. I guarantee his name get called. I won't be surprised if his name don't get called, but it should get called today. Shiloh, right? He could forget it. He could forget it. Like he said, he already said it. He said, they treating you like this. I know I'm not getting drafted. Because they got this family marked out, son. They got y'all marked out. But I know what people say, well, why can't we just form another league? They tried to. They tried to form another league twice in history. They tried. It don't work. It don't work. Trump tried. The president tried. Go look. He tried. He tried. It didn't work. It didn't work. Vince McMahon tried. Didn't work. It didn't work. They have the monopoly. So that's just what it is. And they did a lot over the years to brand themselves so they could have the monopoly. We have the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl. Nah, man, the real fucking championship is the goddamn premiership or the La Liga or the fucking World Cup. That's the real one. That's the real championship, the damn World Cup, yo. The World Cup. You ever been at them stadiums? I wish you would go to one of them stadiums in Europe and sit up there on the opposing team side doing the most. Something might happen to you. That's how serious they take it. Let me tell you, I didn't witness it. I was in Giant Stadium. Okay, the year was 1994. I was still a kid. 1994. Let me set the stage for you folks to show you how soccer is that damn serious. The United States was playing Colombia. The Colombian goalie had an on goal. He made a mistake. And the U.S. went on to win that game. Guess what happened to him when he got to the airport of his country? He got unalived. Go look if you don't believe me. Go look. He got unalived for that. They unalived him for that. I'm like, damn, it's that serious? I don't want to play that sport. That's what I said. I don't want to play that. I'm glad I ain't play that. It's that damn serious. And I believe the person that was responsible was the drug kingpin, whatever it is, I forget his name. As soon as he got to the airport in Colombia, they unalived him for that on goal. They unalived him, man. Craziness. That's how I knew. I said, "Whoa, my God." Yes, that's when the World Cup was in the United States. The World Cup was in the United States, and I believe, you correct me if I'm wrong, the final game was at the Rose Bowl. Somebody tell me in Pasadena. Somebody tell me if I'm wrong. I believe the final, because that was the first year. I know everybody talk about Ronaldo. The real Ronaldo is the Brazilian Ronaldo. Okay, because he had the most goals after he retired. He had the most goals in World Cup history. But I think somebody beat him out now. What's his name from France beat him out. But when he retired from World Cup action, he was the goal leader. Yes, the Brazilian Ronaldo, and he was discovered by Pele. So that was the first time he took center stage because he had just turned. He was like 16 and a half, or he was 17. So he just made it. So he took center stage for the first time in 1994. Okay, and I believe it was either who won the World Cup that year. I think it was Brazil. I think either Brazil or France won in 1994. I think it was Brazil, but or France or whatever the case. But that man had an on goal and got unalived when he got to the airport at his country. He got him right in the head. Yes, they did. How dare you have an on goal? How dare you be a human? Have a human moment. How dare you? People have gotten stabbed in England over that game, doing the most on another country's on an opposing team side. Just doing the most. Okay? Your team scored and you over there doing the most. Oh yeah. And let that team lose. Mess around, that dude got stabbed. So that's what I'm saying. American football, they ain't got nothing on that. I tell you that right now. I'm sitting here bumping my gums. I'm supposed to be getting my day started. But yeah, man, straight up doing the most, man. That sport right there ain't nothing to play with. How you get unalived because because you had an on goal? As soon as he stepped foot off that plane, right to the dome piece. Right to the dome piece, they unalived them in front of everybody in broad daylight. Craziness. But football, the American football is big here. That's the biggest sport here. And then NBA. You got NFL, then you got the NBA. But other countries do follow us. But when the World Cup, everything stops for the World Cup. I'm just telling you right now. Everything stops for the World Cup. If I can only describe to you as Maracana Stadium in Brazil, how many people fill that stadium up, I can't even describe it to you. Just for a team to play. That whole damn stadium was filled to capacity. It's craziness how they support soccer, man, or football. Craziness. It's crazy, man. The World Cup, it was in '94, and I never forget it. It was so much happening on one day. You had the OJ Bronco chase. You had the World Cup going on. You had the Eastern Conference Finals going on. Tiger Woods took center stage for the first time at Stanford. Arnold Palmer took his last shot. All happened in one day. All happened in one day, yo. And I'll never forget it. We were mad on the East Coast because when the Bronco chase was going on, we didn't know about it at first. It was almost like an hour delay, right? And then we sitting up there watching the Eastern Conference Finals, right? That Michael Jordan wasn't in it. We was watching the Eastern Conference Finals, and we couldn't watch it. We could not watch it because then they cut it off to the Bronco chase. I never forget that. We missed it. Then we missed it. It was like breaking news. OJ on the run. Breaking news. It was a lot of stuff happened that day, and also you had the Rangers in the Stanley Cup. That all happened right in that moment in time. That was crazy. Crazy moment in time, yo. So everything, I said all that, I've witnessed everything. Everything been done already in football. That's why I know a good quarterback when I see one. I know one when I see one, yo. I know one. Yo, I couldn't be him, yo. See, he got character. I would have got on the phone. I was like, yeah, can I talk to Tom real quick? Can I talk to Mr. Tom Terrific? Hey, man, what y'all doing, man? Like, what's going on, man? You know what kind of skills I got. What's going on, Mr. Tom Terrific? I'm talking about Tom Brady. Yo, what y'all doing, man? Like, where we headed? Y'all not drafting me? What's going on? But he ain't do all that. Because what he did yesterday, the way Shedeur handled himself yesterday was with class. That's a class act. The way he was handling himself, they prank called him and everything, fucking with his psyche, and he still didn't crash out. That's a class act. And they sitting up here talking about he a head case. And he showed class yesterday. Come on, man. So I just had to say my part this morning before I go to work. You know what I'm saying? I had to sign in on the streets. I'm out here. I'm outside. Well, I'll really be outside next month. Y'all might see me on the news. I'm going boots on the ground, giving you this commentary. But I'm gonna be a little professional. I'm gonna get my Anderson Coop on. A brother got to sit up here and code switch. Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another video. I'm here live from the trial. I just want to give you the minutes for today. Y'all are like, is that Max talking? Yeah, that's me. That's me. That is me. I'm out here code switching. I'm out here code switching. If anybody don't know what code switching is, just look it up. Oh, yeah. Hold on. See, because I don't know how this. You want to call in? Let me see. See, I'm usually careful with this because I have, I don't want nobody to come in here and last time I invited somebody to the panel, they sat up there and tried to come on with their birthday suit on. But I had them backstage when they did that. So I got to be careful on here. The NFL suspect, I mean, we ain't going to be able to prove it as far as collusion and stuff. So forget that. You could think it, but we ain't going to be able to prove it. I know Uncle Neely said it. He said, there's collusion going on. He wasn't the only person that said it. But the way this country is set up, these they're like our oligarchs. The billionaires, they're like our oligarchs. You got the Russian oligarchs. You ever hear that? They're like oligarchs. They don't vote. They never vote in elections because stuff is just already working their way. But we had a major oligarch yesterday. Okay? A major oligarch saying that they stupid. Okay? That's how real he is. He sat up there and called his counterpart stupid. He a billionaire. He white, ain't he? If we gonna sit up here and keep referring to each other as crayon colors, he white, right? Right? He white. Why he sit up there and call him stupid? He should have stayed on code, right? Nah, he don't stay on code. That's why they don't like him. Because he ain't trying to stay on code. He ain't trying to stay on code, yo. And I could tell you he was like that when he was in Atlantic City. The mob couldn't even touch him. Sammy the Bull said that. He said we tried to touch him. He said we tried to get to him. He had former CIA and FBI and Secret Service as his bodyguards. They couldn't touch him. So he knew because he had to move and shake in Atlantic City back in that corrupt era. He had to move and shake and he survived it. So if he survived that, he a badass man, dog. If he survived that. And the mob couldn't even touch him. The mob couldn't even touch him, yo. They couldn't even extort him. So what is that saying? That's a bad dude. You mean to tell me the mob couldn't touch you? Yeah, he a bad dude, yo. It's just a lot of people don't know. They didn't grow up in the tri-state area like me. So they don't know. But people my age, we know. Because we lived in that era. We know. We knew he was very instrumental in Mike Tyson getting all that money. A lot of people don't know that. He was one of the reasons why Mike Tyson got all that money. Even though, the situation with Don King, we all know that situation with Don King, how he was doing, but it was Trump that how he got all that money. In the biggest fight of Mike Tyson's life against Michael Spinks, he was sitting right in the ring. He was standing right in the ring when Mike Tyson came in the ring. He was right there. He was right there. So a lot of us my age, we telling you the history of him. He had to be a certain mindset to survive the mafia back then. The mafia is not like how it is now because of that what Giuliani and them did with that RICO. It dismantled the mob. John Gotti was the last. He was the last of the old breed. Now they pretty much legit now. But that was ended. But he survived them though. You have to have a certain gangster mindset to survive that, and he did. Now he did some stuff. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a part of history with him. But um, Atlantic City was crazy back then, yo. It was wide open. It was wide open back then. And he tried to start a league, but it didn't happen. It didn't work out in his favor. And I know he's still sore over it. That's why he said something. He said, man, y'all stupid, yo. You had an oligarch, a major oligarch, that's running the free world right now that told them they stupid. That was crazy. He didn't even have to say nothing. He didn't. He didn't have to say nothing. He could have just sat back and just watched it. But I know he cool with Prime, though. He cool with Prime. That's why he said something. Man, y'all stupid, yo. Y'all just stupid. I mean, it's one thing for me to say they stupid, but something, he an oligarch. He's official, and he said they stupid. He got so much pull that they thinking about him running another term. He got so much pull. But I'm going to tell you something. If he do, that means Obama coming back. So that's just going to set the stage for something crazy. But that ain't going to happen. But for him to say they stupid, they stupid. So I'm just going to go with that. Y'all being stupid, you know what I'm saying? And y'all proved y'all point. I'm going to have to say it. I give it to them. Y'all proved y'all point. Y'all did. Ain't nobody bigger than the program. I get it. Ain't nobody bigger than the program. Because I know y'all like, man, who are these people, man? They think, come on, man. Nah, yo, we gonna do this right here. But and the crazy part about it is we ain't gonna be able to prove it, that there was some collusion. Because if they could prove it, he gonna have a lawsuit. He might not even have to play football after suing them. Because he lost money yesterday. He lost $20-30 million yesterday off their bullshit. So, but they ain't gonna be able to prove it because the kid will have a lawsuit. You mean y'all all working together saying, nah, we not drafting them? Nah, you ain't gonna be able to prove it. I'm just telling you that right now. They ain't gonna be able to prove it. Unless somebody come out and be a whistleblower. And it shouldn't be that serious with sports, right? But hey, man, you ain't bigger than the program, man. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he don't get drafted. He had to come in as an undrafted free agent. You said instead of banning Target, ban them. Well, you could ban Target, but here's the thing with Target, though. You can't just boycott them for a couple of weeks. You have to do it indefinitely. Indefinitely. It has to be an indefinite ban. An indefinite ban on Amazon, then something will happen. It happened in history before, the Montgomery bus boycotts. It happened before in history. See, nothing's new under the sun. Did you look? Because I study history. What happened was, because it was a whole thing about her giving up her seat, Rosa Parks, about her moving from the front to the back. Well, they actually got the story wrong. She wasn't sitting in the front. You know how the story had it? Well, he made her get up and had to made her go in the back. She wasn't sitting in the front. She was sitting in the middle, where she was supposed to be sitting at, right? She was sitting on the right side. She was sitting on the right side. They had the story wrong. But he just wanted her seat, okay? But they chose her. But actually, watch this. There was another woman. It wasn't Rosa Parks. It was another woman. But they used Rosa Parks. Go deep into the story. You'll find it. It wasn't actually her. There was another woman sitting near her, but right by her. He wanted that woman's seat. And she was sitting in the right spot because, you had the white spot and you had the black spot. The black spot was in the middle and the back. The white sit in the front. I'm being real. I'm not being funny. That's just history. All history ain't good history, but hey, it's history if you like history. And so what happened was they was like, you know what? We just not gonna ride the bus. So guess what? Low key, some entrepreneurs were born. So some people that had two and three cars, two and three big ass Cadillacs, they said, listen, we're gonna take you to work. Just pay us a little bit of money. That money that you was gonna pay them, pay us. So they were making money. So nobody was taking the bus. Well, people were taking the bus, but they weren't taking the bus. And the bus company was losing money. You know what they said? Let these people sit wherever they want to sit, where they want to sit. If these people want to sit in the front, let them sit in the front. We need their money, goddammit. I don't give a damn. If they want to sit in the front or the back, let them sit there. Ain't no such thing as white-only sections no more. They gave that up. And so it was very effective. And Dr. King knew that. He said, you know what? Because he had a change of heart. He said, fuck all this marching and all this. We're going to start boycotting. We're going to start going after the Teamsters. And he died immediately after that. They didn't care about the March on Washington and I Have a Dream and all that. Actually, they did care about I Have a Dream because you got to listen to the whole thing. And then listen to the last speech, not the last speech, the speech before last, about his plan on how he gonna boycott. That's what they were paying attention to. He died immediately. Immediately. So they know how powerful it is when people come together. He didn't want just us coming together. He want all of us coming together, all demographics, to start boycotting and different things like that. He even had the companies listed who he wanted to boycott. They be like, we don't no, we got to get rid of him, and that's what happened. So yeah, if you want to boycott the NFL, you can't watch it, and you can't buy tickets, and you can't go to the games, and you can't buy merch, and it has to be indefinitely. And then something will be done. But if you do it for one season, that's not good enough. You can't do it for just one season. They'll call your bluff because they have enough money in reserve. Remember that. When we got enough money, we could survive it. Now, you got to do this for about 5 or 6 years. Don't watch it at all. Don't go to the games. Don't buy no tickets. After 5 years, they can be like, well, what's going on here? So it's just you gotta do it indefinitely. Remember, protesting doesn't work. Protesting doesn't work. You have to do it with your money. But if collectively, if a lot of people come together, then it'll be done. But a lot of people most people ain't really caring about sports to boycott, right? But we talking about brands, yeah, you could do that. But like sports, nobody's really gonna come together on that because we don't think of sports that deep. You know what I'm saying? It's just sports, but entertainment. But anyway, it's all set up that way. But I never thought I would be talking about sports like this. This is kind of political talk, but it had to be done because I did it to use my voice because I think he's a good kid, and I think he was raised right. And I just hate to see that to happen. He showed class though. He showed a lot of class yesterday. So shout out to him. They stood on their faith, and he showed class, and he gonna show class again today. And then look, if he go as an undrafted free agent, you know what he gonna say? Thank you for the opportunity. So he's not a head case. So they lied about him. But if he ever get proof of that collusion, oh, he gonna have a lawsuit. Oh yes, because he lost money yesterday. No, he lost money on the first day, and really lost it yesterday. So, but shout out to him, man. Shout out to him, and shout out to the people like his real people that's hanging around him. They not switching up. They still with him. Shout out to them, cause he gonna need y'all around. But he got his daddy though. He got his parents, so that's all he need, and his brothers and his sister. That's all he need really. But for his day ones, stick with him, man. Because he headed for greatness. If he do get his opportunity, he's headed for greatness. It's gonna be a movie written. Because he got a chip on his shoe. Did you see when he was waiting? He said, "Give me the football." He started throwing the football around. Oh my God, yo, they don't create a monster. He don't have no fear, and he gonna get in there. He gonna take somebody's position. Somebody is gonna mess around and got to sit the bench because of him. If he do get his opportunity, somebody gonna sit the bench. So yes, indeed. But we need all these players to come together on the low though. Not They don't need to do it publicly. They just need to, because we got text messaging, we got all that. They need to form something on the low. That's what they need to do. It's been done before. Like I said, when I was a kid, them players sat the fuck out, man. They had to go find some players from Canada. They found some players from Europe to come play. It was crazy. They found people off the street. Hey, you want to play football? Yeah, they did. It's crazy. One dude was bagging groceries. He went for a tryout and made the Giants. They were like, "What were you doing for this? Bagging groceries at ShopRite?" Straight up. It was either ShopRite or Pathmark, one or the other. He was bagging groceries though. He played college football for a little bit. He was still in a little bit of shape. He went for a tryout and made the team. Craziness. You said sue the NFL and you put LOL. I didn't mean that to be funny. What's funny about that? I wasn't trying to be funny when I said he has a lawsuit if he can prove the collusion, but I just said he's not going to be able to prove it. But if somebody was a whistleblower and came out and said that's what happened, yeah, he got a lawsuit. What's so funny about that? Like, what's so funny about it? As a matter of fact, I don't want to know. I'm just going to go ahead and ban you. I don't like the LOL. Go somewhere and laugh in somebody else's face. Don't laugh in mine. LOL. Go take your little Tweedle dum thumbs and go somewhere else. Go LOL with your old lady. Don't sit up here and LOL in my face. I'm being serious. Yeah, I ain't. Was that a joke? Where was the punchline? LOL. Go sit down somewhere. It's too early for this. Yeah, they can't say anything, right? Of course not. You said everyone not into bootlicking. You damn right. You know, you shouldn't have to bootleg. You shouldn't have to bootleg. Step and fetch it era is over. You know what I'm saying? The step and fetch it era is over. The crazy thing about Step and Fetch It is the story on him is, you know, he was the number one Sambo character, right? But he was the number one paid man in Hollywood. Ain't that crazy? He was paid more than Clark Gable, all those people. And he played that Yassa Balsa character. They tried to get Sidney Poitier to play it, but he refused to. They was offering Sidney Poitier a lot of money to play it. He said no. So there's a lot of men throughout history that stood on business. Okay? Stood on business. Yeah, everybody don't bootleg. Everybody don't. And then the ones that have a very powerful voice, like Paul Robeson, right? They lied on him and said he was a spy and all this stuff. Paul Robeson. Paul Robeson was like a Renaissance man. He was before his time. He went to Rutgers in New Jersey. This man was a lawyer. He was a professional football player. He was an actor. And he was a singer. He did it all well. That was some crazy shit. He did all of that. Paul Robeson. Okay? Paul Robeson. And they lied on Paul Robeson. He wasn't no bootlegger. They set up there and said he was a spy and all that. So yeah, they will lie on you. Yeah. So they full of tricks. You know, man, but I trying to talk greasy. I'm just armed with history though. I just know what they did. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know history, you gotta know how the game is played so you can navigate this game. You gotta be able to navigate. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, you just gotta know it. You gotta know how the system is played so you can play it. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to the young folks. They know. They know the system. They do it, they play it their own way. But yeah, man. You know what somebody told me? He said there's levels to football players. I said, yo, expound on that. What you mean? He said they're not like they were how football players you saw growing up back in the 80s and 90s and all that. I said, what you mean by that? He said some they'll say they'll say what they have to do to get in the league. Yeah, I just want to win a Super Bowl. I just want to do this. I just want to bring a Super Bowl to the city. You know what I'm saying? I just want to do this and that. Secretly, they want to get that money. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck about no Super Bowl. They want that money. See, that's how I would be. Low key, I would tell them everything. Yeah, I just, oh my God, I like to thank everybody. I like to thank everybody for getting drafted. Oh my God. I just sat up here and prayed on it for 7 days and 7 nights. I prayed on it for 7 days and 7 nights. Yo, trust me, I can code switch like a motherfucker. I prayed over 7 days and 7 nights. Thanks for the owner and his family. Yes, indeed. Thank you. I really, Lord, I thank you. No, I ain't gonna say the Lord name in vain because I'm lying and shit. I'm not gonna do that unless I mess around and get struck down. But I would say, yeah, I meditated over it. I meditated over it getting drafted. I had a dream that I was getting drafted to Jacksonville. Well, Max, really? Yeah, I had a dream about it. I had a dream I was getting drafted to Jacksonville, and the owner came into the dream and he saved me from drowning and shit. They were like, "Damn, man, he really want to win a Super Bowl for us. This a good little student here, yeah." But meanwhile, in the back of my mind, I just want your damn money so I can sign that max contract and get a guaranteed contract like fucking Dak Prescott, and then all of a sudden I don't know how to play football no more. All of a sudden. All of a sudden, I don't know how to play football no more. And guess what? You don't sign me to a guaranteed contract, right? Some of it is guaranteed. Like freaking what's his name? He forgot how to play. What's his name? Kirk Cousins. He got all that money. All of a sudden, he don't know what he's doing. That's how I would be. Yeah, so they can get rid of my ass, so they got to still pay me. That's right. I'm not trying to restructure anything. Just let me go then. And then I'm gonna take that money and I'm gonna go off into the sunset. That way I don't have to play for over 10 years. I ain't got to do it. The hell with the Hall of Fame. The hell with all that. Just give me that Hall of Fame money. See, that's my mentality. They're like, yeah, but what happened to wanting to win a Super Bowl for us and you had the dream? Well, it's still my dream. But y'all trying to let me go because I don't had 3 bad seasons. Y'all trying to let me go. Yeah, man. I want the money. So he said some people think like that, but they're not going to tell you. He said you do have some football players that they live and breathe football and they want to win a championship so damn bad, you know what I'm saying? But some of them don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, shout out to them players, man. Don't tell nobody what you thinking, but yeah, I hope they are thinking that. Just get the money from these owners, man. Because we already know right now Russell Wilson performed a robbery. Okay? When he left Denver, he's still getting some of that money. That's what you call a rob. Look, he robbed it, and he robbed them so bad, right? They still gotta let him play. I know y'all like, why Russell Wilson still playing? Because they feel like, damn, we don't give him all. We gotta have him play somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, he don't set up here and took us to the cleaners, just like Dak Prescott did. See, everybody hating on Dak Prescott. Oh, he ain't really a good quarterback. The hell with all that. He ain't gotta be a good quarterback. He signed for all that money. And a lot of it is guaranteed. The hell with being a good quarterback. Be a good quarterback for what? Just so he can let him get that money. We ain't knocking Dak Prescott for that money now. We ain't knocking him. Okay? It's a blessing that he got that money. Shout out to Dak Prescott, man. Shout out to that brother, man. That sat up there and performed that heist. And shout out to his agent. Man, what's his name? Russell Wilson agent. He was doing God's work. That's God's work right there. Because why? Like, damn, like shit. Russell playing for the Giants. Why? Shouldn't he be retiring? Russell, man, like, look, I'm just gonna keep getting money, man. Okay, yeah, I played for the Steelers. We ain't win no Super Bowl, but fuck it, ain't my fault. They let me play. I ain't win no Super Bowl. Now I'm off to the Giants. Oh, I love it, yo. I love it. I'm clowning, but I love it. Fuck, let them get all the money. Shit, shout out to Kirk Cousins, man. Shit, shout out to Kirk, because he ain't nowhere close to winning no Super Bowl. Nowhere close. And he got hurt. Shit, let me get a concussion. I will sit out for 3-4 weeks. Y'all be like, well, Max, why isn't he coming back? He signed for all this money. He needs to come back and help us win. No, fuck that. I'm sitting out for 3 to 4 weeks. My neck still fucking hurt. My neck still hurt. I'm not playing. As a matter of fact, I might have to sit out the whole year. I might, cause the concussion, I'm still twitching over it. Yeah, that's why I never played professional, but my damn mentality. Because I would say all the right things. Yeah, I just want to win a championship. My goal is just to win a championship for this city and this family. Okay, I want to win a championship for this family. I want to do it so bad. And then look, I'll play the role. I have a good, for the rookie contract, it's 3 years. So you gotta put up some good numbers, right? So you can rob them. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and put up your good numbers and stuff. Get that max contract like that. You know what I'm saying? Make sure about 170 guaranteed. Then all of a sudden I'll stop. I don't know how to play no more. All of a sudden I got nagging injuries and stuff. Yeah, man. The hell with them damn owners. Shit. The hell with them, man. Yeah, man. The hell with them. The hell with them owners, man. I'll be sitting up there doing the most, yo. I just want to win a champ. All I want to do is just win a championship for this family. That's all I want to do. They be liking all the shit I'm saying. And then next thing you know, I get that max contract like Dak Prescott. Now I can't even play football no more. I don't know how. Now I'm stinking up the joint. Like what's his name is doing? What's the hair name? What's his name out there in Jacksonville? Trevor. Now all of a sudden he having a bad situation. He got all that money. His pocket's too damn heavy. Shit. They let him go tomorrow. They still gotta pay him. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We not knocking him because he got his money. So we're not knocking Trevor either because he got his money. And that's it. If they let him go tomorrow, they gotta pay him. That's it. Pay the man. So I hope Shadour do the same thing. He get that max contract, and all of a sudden he ain't legendary no more. He don't know what it is. God damn! I thought you were legendary. I thought you were legendary. I'm legendary. Were you having a bad season, sir? He got that money. Should go ahead and retire early, and that's it. Let me stop, yo. I'm just clowning, yo. I'm just clowning. But yeah, for me, I'm not trying to sit there and play 10 years. I want to get that guaranteed contract so I can go sit down somewhere. So I can pull a Ricky Williams. I just want to go find myself. You know what I'm saying? I need to take some time off to go meditate and go find myself, man. The hell with the NFL. But anyway, man, I'm out of here. We'll see what happens today. If he don't get his name called, I'm not gonna be surprised. I'm just letting y'all know I'm not gonna be surprised because these owners they stuck on it now, man. They standing on it. They like, look, man, this is the program. You're not bigger than the program, like Chad Johnson said, Ocho Cinco. They letting you know you're not bigger than the program. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think he said he was bigger than the program, did you? But that's what they thinking, I guess. It ain't about talent. It ain't about it. That ain't why that ain't it. It's something else. So let them stand on it, man. But I'm thinking he's gonna get his name called today. I'm thinking so. But if he don't, I'm not gonna be surprised. And what does that say for the other Colorado players that's looking to get their name called? They catching strays, yo. They might even get their name called either. It's craziness. Yeah, the CFL is options, but it's not enough of us wanting to go to the CFL. Like, it's a lot of them do go to CFL and make a good salary, but some of them all should just jump ship and go over there to boost it up even more. But yeah, CFL is an option. Of course it is. Um, but it has to be enough of them that's great to say, you know what, we're going over to the CFL. Just like, for example, Stephon Marbury, they used to play for the Knicks. He went over to China and made so damn, he did so well in China, they made a statue for him. Yeah, China OD'd on him, yo. They even opened up a museum just dedicated to him. It's craziness. And he made a ton of money over there in China. But not enough NBA players is looking to go to China to make it so that the NBA is not a monopoly. It's just not enough of them because every every draft, people are trying to get, because that's the big brand. NFL is the big brand of NBA. So you just don't have enough going over there for it to be like in competition with the NFL. So the NFL got that on lock, and the NBA, they got it on lock, man. Now you can make some good money in Europe now. You play on the Series 18 like in Italy as a basketball player. There's leagues you can go to where you can make really good money. But most of the top dogs in college, they go to the NBA. So that's just the way it is. You said they felt like they needed to put him in his place. Rethink that. See, yeah, you can rethink your presence in the NFL, but what I'm saying is it has to be enough top athletes to be on the same level. We're not there yet. Like if all the top people that got drafted this year, they be like, wait a minute, y'all did Shadour wrong, yo. Nah, yo, we none of us is playing. We all in Canada. Now that's gonna raise some eyebrows. They're like, wait a minute, we'll sign these contracts? Nah, we all going to Canada, yo. We going with Shadour to Canada, yo. That we're not there yet. We're not there yet. Because if they all the top dogs went to Canada, oh, they gonna get paid over there. Because Canada now they gonna sell out there. All their stadiums gonna be sold out, but they just don't have enough to even do that right now. So yeah, that's all I'm saying there, man. But everybody know what's happening to him is like, damn, that's crazy. If Patrick Mahomes said it, he's like, man, this is crazy, man. Like it's not about talent for him. Why he didn't get drafted. It's not about if he don't have the talent. That's not the issue. It's political. And I can see if he was a bad kid. That's why people are tripping over it because he's not a bad kid. You know what I'm saying? He don't get no, like that. So, but I can see if he had like behavioral issues, but he don't. Because somebody would have came out, more people would have came out and said it. Yeah, he had a head case. Nobody's saying that. I mean, he was raised and he was taught to say yes, sir, and no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. You know, he raised old school way. So nah, man, Coach Prime would have been got on him if he out here acting a fool. He would have been got on him. That ain't the case. But anyway, I'm out of here, man. I'll be watching I'll be listening to it. And look, the crazy part about it is the game is so cold. They got me watching the last part of the damn draft. I've never watched the draft this far. Never. I mean, did they do this for ratings? Because everybody watching it? Because they trying to see what's happening with Shedeur. Them ratings is, oh, listen, this got to be the ratings is through the roof. So is that what they doing? I don't think so, but it's just working out that way because he's trending on Twitter. All they got to do is keep like streaming on Twitch. You know how many people was in their Twitch, man? They just wanted to get a feel for what's going on. I have never watched the NFL past the 20th pick, yo. I'm being real with you. Okay, the 20th pick over. I'm going to something else, man. I don't watch this NFL no more. Now I can't believe I'm sitting here watching the last few rounds. I'm talking about pick by pick. I don't have time to be sitting up there, you know, when they have it. Like, you know, it's more interesting when Roger Goodell do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm being real with you, man. When Roger Goodell do it, then he hugged the players. I like that shit. When he ain't sitting there doing that, no, I don't want to watch it no more. I'm just telling you, I don't want to watch it no more, man. When, you know, they have other people, hey, you know, this old player, you know, I just want to come up here and now I don't want to watch it. I don't watch it no more. But they got me watching it this year just to see what happened with after Shadour. I'm done. If when he get John, I ain't watching no more. But now they got me. You know, the joke's on me because they got me for the whole damn draft, pick by pick. I couldn't believe that they got me pick by pick. This is the first year that I ever watched a draft in this entirety. It's craziness. I mean, yesterday I missed a lot of it yesterday, but it started at 12 today, so I'll probably catch it. Pick by pick, all the way to the last pick. Because we're going to be waiting. At least, surely they're going to get them with the last pick. And if they don't, shit, the joke is really on me because I watched it all the way through. But anyway, I'll catch y'all later. And shout out to Shadour for keeping it classy, yo. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to the good brother. All right, y'all. I'll catch y'all on the next one.